What's going on, everybody? Brian here at the B-Dubs Movie Hub, and it's hard to believe that it's already March, but I'm here to talk about everything I watched in February, whether it was at the theaters or on streaming or physical media. I've got a bunch of movies to talk about and one miniseries. I did watch one miniseries that I wanted to kind of talk about a little bit because I was able to log and rate that on Letterboxd. So we'll kind of just go through everything I watched here and we'll get to it. I'm going to look down at my phone every once in a while just because I'm going through my Letterboxd. But then, as I kind of go through the movies, if I have it on physical media, I will show that off as well. But first up, on February 1st, I started off the month trying to work through all of the Best Picture nominated movies for the Oscars. So I did watch The Substance. I caught this in theaters. I really enjoyed this movie. It ended up being my second favorite movie from 2024. I did a full review on my channel here. Anything that I did a review for, I will link down in the description below, so you can go check out my Substance review. But I really loved it. Demi Moore was great. I do feel like she was very deserving of the Oscar win. It unfortunately did not go to her, but it is what it is. I started out February with The Substance, and I think it was a good way to start the month. It was a really good, fantastic movie. The next day, on February 2nd, which was Groundhog's Day, I watched Groundhog Day. What a fun, fantastic movie. I had not seen this in many years, but I picked up this really cool looking steelbook, and I gave it a watch on Groundhog Day. I feel like there was no better day to watch it. I really like this movie. It was one that I saw it when it first came out. I was a teenager, and I've seen it many times over the years, but it had been a little bit. So I gave this a watch. This one I rated 4 stars on Letterboxd, and yeah, that's Groundhog Day. I watched that on February 2nd. All right, so after that, I went a few days, didn't watch anything until the 8th when I did a double feature of Conan. I finally broke into the Conan Chronicles set from Arrow. This thing is super cool. I watched both films the same day. I hadn't seen them in many years, but this set was well worth it. I rated, let's see, Conan the Barbarian. I rated 4.5 stars. It was fantastic. It looked great on 4K, and it's just a fun Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Conan the Destroyer, I did 3.5 stars. I didn't like that one as much, but it's still a fun kind of sword and sandal movie. So yeah, that's the Conan Chronicles. Again, I double featured this one on February 8th. On February 9th, I went to see Heart Eyes in theaters. So I caught this right before the Super Bowl. I did a full review for that one as well on my channel. So again, I'll link that down below. But I thought it was great. A really funny horror rom-com, slasher rom-com. I feel like I hadn't really seen anything like that really in a long time. So I did give it 4 stars on Letterboxd. I really enjoyed it. I'm not going to say too much more about that just because I've already done the review for it. So if you want to check that out, check out the description box below. So after watching the Super Bowl on the 9th, I felt like I needed to watch another movie. I don't know. I didn't really care for the Super Bowl. I didn't think it was a good game. I didn't like the commercials. Didn't like the halftime performance. Just for me, it wasn't such a fun game. So I watched The Lair of the White Worm. I had never seen this before. I got this last year. It was in one of my haul videos. It's just a really cool looking steelbook, and I had never seen the movie, but I gave it a watch. And actually, the inside of this is really nice. Kind of like some nice artwork on the inside. This is the original, I believe, poster art. So yeah, I checked this out. It was kind of a ridiculous Hugh Grant horror movie from, what year did this one come out? Lair of the White Worm was what, 88? Yeah, so from, the late 80s, Hugh Grant. Um, I liked it. I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was kind of fun and campy. Um, but yeah, a little ridiculous at times, but I thought it was a pretty good movie. So that's The Lair of the White Worm. And again, I watched that one on February 9th. On February 10th, I continued the quest to see all 10 Best Picture nominees. So my wife and I did a double feature. We first watched Conclave. So we watched this on streaming. I believe we rented it from Fandango. I thought it was really good. I thought it had a fantastic cast. Ray Fiennes, Stanley Tucci, John Lithgow, Isabella Rossellini, all really did fantastic jobs in this movie. I thought it was a really good story. It was a little long, it's like 2 hours, 20 minutes or so. But again, I thought it was really well done. I thought it was an interesting story. Just something that you don't get to see, kind of the behind the scenes of picking the new pope. So I thought it was a really good story. I enjoyed it. I gave it 4.5 stars. Um, and yeah, so that was Conclave. After Conclave, we watched Anora. So this one starred Mikey Madison in kind of her breakout role. She did win Best Actress. It won Best Picture, Best Director, Best Editing. Won a whole bunch of awards. Best Original Screenplay at the Oscars. I think it was pretty well deserving of all the nominations. It wasn't necessarily my favorite movie of the year. I did like it slightly better than Conclave. I think just how wild the movie is. It's got a lot of comedy. I think just the fact of just all of the screaming and the chaos. You find the humor in that. At least I did. I thought it was really well done. I thought Mikey Madison did a fantastic job. Still would have liked to have seen Demi Moore win, but it was deserving. I think she did a fantastic job. It really was a good breakout role for her. This one I gave 4.5 stars as well, but I did like it slightly better than Conclave. I think just because I found it a little bit more entertaining and just a little more humorous. Next up is actually a mini series that my wife and I binged over the course of a few days, and we wrapped it up on February 13th, and that's American Primeval. I really enjoyed this mini series from Peter Berg. He's a fantastic director. He's a good actor, but he put together just a really gritty, very bloody and brutal mini series. Very reminiscent of like The Revenant, like that style of filmmaking. You get Taylor Kitsch, who I think is really underrated. You've got Betty Gilpin, who does a fantastic job as well. Her son is played by Preston Maya, or I think it's Preston Mata. I think I may have spelled that wrong here in my notes. He did a really good job as well as a son, but I actually really enjoyed Lucas Neff. He did a really good job in this movie. He plays like I think the general of one of the armies, and um, I don't know if you haven't seen like the show Raising Hope. He just plays this like goofy kind of kid in that show, and in this, it's just a completely different turn. So I really enjoyed Lucas Neff this, and it also has Shea Wiggum, who I think is another really underrated actor. So yeah, that's American Primeval. I really liked it. I actually gave it 5 stars on Letterboxd. I didn't even know that you can rate like miniseries on here, but I found a few kind of that I had watched in the past, so I'd logged those. But this one I did watch this year, and it actually came out this year. So yeah, that's American Primeval. If you guys have not seen it, it's really good. It's streaming on Netflix. I highly recommend you check it out. All right, the next day on Valentine's Day, I kind of had to watch Valentine's related movies. So first up, I watched the original My Bloody Valentine from 1981. I had never seen the original, so this was a first time watch. I enjoyed it. As far as slashers go, it was very good, very entertaining. Typical 80s slasher. I give it 3 stars on Letterboxd. And then after that, I watched the remake, My Bloody Valentine. I did not watch it in 3D. This one I had seen before, but it had been a while since I had checked it out. So I figured I would kind of do a double feature, watching the original and then rewatching the remake here. So the story is it's a little different. It's essentially, mostly the same. It's just kind of like the killer, who is revealed as the killer is different toward the end. But overall, I thought this was a really fun double feature of the original My Bloody Valentine and the remake. I did enjoy this one a little bit better. I gave this 3.5 stars on Letterboxd. On the 15th of February, I watched Rumpelstiltskin from Terrorvision. I did a full unboxing and review of this one as well, so I'll put the link in the description below for that. But I thought this was so much fun. I had never seen it before, but what a really fun, fantastic, funny horror comedy. There's actually a lot of action in it. You know, you get it's very reminiscent. There's scenes reminiscent of like Duel and stuff like that. So I don't know. I thought this was really good. I will watch this again probably sometime soon because I thoroughly enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars on Letterboxd. Um, so yeah, the fact that it's just a really good '90s. This came out in '95. A really good '90s horror comedy. On the 16th, I went to the theater for a very long time and I watched The Brutalist. This was another Best Picture nominee, so I had to check it out. It's very long at almost 4 hours. I think it's like 3 hours, 40 minutes, something like that. But it's also very good. Adrian Brody did win Best Actor for his role here in The Brutalist. I thought it was just really well done. I think Guy Pearce was fantastic. There's one scene that I thought was a little weird and just didn't really fit with the storyline of it, but it is what it is. Overall, I gave The Brutalist 4 stars on Letterboxd, and yeah, I thought it was really, really good, really well done. A few days later, on the 19th, I was home sick, not feeling very well, so I watched Outlaw King on Netflix. This was one that I had on my watch list for a few years now since it came out. This one came out in 2018. It's just one that I had never gotten around to seeing, so I finally decided to check it out, and I really, really liked it. It's essentially a Braveheart sequel, only not really related to Braveheart and not nearly as good as Braveheart. I will preface that. It's basically just the story of Robert the Bruce post William Wallace's death, and I really, really liked it. So you get Chris Pine, Aaron Taylor Johnson, and Florence Pugh, who I didn't even realize was in the movie until I started watching it. And I've become more and more of a Florence Pugh fan over the last couple of years. She's done a lot of good work. Aaron Taylor Johnson, I thought was really, really wild in this movie. He does a really good job. And Chris Pine does a good job as well. So I gave it, what I give this one, 4 stars on Letterboxd. So I really enjoyed it. If you haven't checked out Outlaw King, it's on Netflix. On the 21st, I did another double feature, 2 wildly different movies. I watched Murder Party. This was released by Magnet via Vinegar Syndrome, and it's actually, I really like the artwork on this. I had not seen the movie prior to checking it out here, but yeah, it's just about a guy who goes to a Halloween party the day before Halloween, and yeah, it turns out they're gonna try to murder him. It was alright. You can tell that it was very low budget. I gave it 2.5 stars. Not super good, but mildly entertaining, and it had some good moments, but overall the acting wasn't great. But I don't know. I'd probably watch it again just because it was a little crazy and a little wonky, but I don't know. It was alright. And then after that, I checked out the VSU of Virtuosity, a movie I had not seen in a very long time. I showed this off in my unboxing video for that month, but I don't know. I like this movie. I thought it was good. I mean, Denzel Washington is just a fantastic actor, and in such kind of like a different role in this sci-fi film, I thought he did a fantastic job, and I even thought Russell Crowe was really good. It was a little bit of a weird role for him early on in his career, but yeah, I thought still some plastic. I don't know. I thought this was good. I thought it was fun. It kind of held up. The CGI is kind of dated, you could tell. I mean, this was made in 1995, I think. Let me just double check. Yeah, this was done in 95 as well. So, I don't know. I liked it. I give it 4 stars on Letterboxd. And that's just from a rewatch that I hadn't seen in so long. So I thought it held up pretty well. All right, on February 22nd, I went to the theaters and I saw The Monkey. I checked this out with a buddy of mine. I loved it. I thought it was really good horror comedy. I gave it 5 stars on Letterboxd. I know it's very early in the year, but I think it's going to be kind of up there on my list of one of my favorite horror movies of the year. I just thought it was really well done. Oz Perkins kind of knocked it out of the park. I'll drop the video in the chat below for my full review on this one as well, but I thought it was really well done, really well acted. Theo James did a fantastic job in his dual role, as did Christian Convery, who plays the younger version of the character. So that's The Monkey. Again, I really enjoyed that one. Later that night, I decided to watch a Nicolas Cage movie called Pay the Ghost. This is basically very similar to Insidious, just not as. I want to say it's not as scary as Insidious, but there were some jump scares in here that got me, I will be honest. So I thought it was pretty good. It has, like I said, Nick Cage and Sarah Wayne Callies. I thought they both did a really good job in this movie. What did I rate this one? I gave it 2.5 stars. Like I said, I think mainly just because it's kind of just a ripoff of the original Insidious, but that's Pay the Ghost. Again, I watched that on the 22nd, just after The Monkey. All right, on the 23rd, I watched Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters, starring Jeremy Renner and Gemma Arterton. I thought this was all right. Famke Jenssen's in it. Peter Stormare's in it. I didn't realize it was rated R when I started watching it. It's actually really bloody and full of profanity, which I dig. So I was kind of a nice surprise. I was expecting it to be more of like a kids movie. I didn't remember the trailers from back in the day because it's came out quite a while ago. But yeah, I thought it was a fun kind of take on the Hansel and Gretel as adults storyline. I gave it 3 stars on Letterboxd, and yeah, I thought it was fun. On the 24th, I continued my quest to see the Best Picture nominees. I watched Nickel Boys. This is another one that I rented on Fandango or Amazon, one of those two. I thought it was a pretty good movie. The POV style was a little weird. It took me out of it a little bit because the first 40 minutes is basically from one character's point of view, and then it kind of switches to another one. It switches to another character's point of view, but then it kind of keeps flip-flopping back and forth. I kind of wish if it was going to do that, it would have just done, like the first half of the movie from the first character and the second half from the other. I think there were just some scenes that were a little too dark, so it was almost hard to tell what was going on. I think it was a pretty good telling of a true story. So I did give it 3.5 stars. It wasn't, my favorite of the Best Picture nominees, but I thought it was a pretty good movie overall. On the 25th, I decided to watch A Real Pain. This was getting some, Oscar nominations with screenwriting and Kieran Culkin for Best Supporting Actor, in which he did win for, and I really think he deserved it. He did a really good job. I think his character is kind of annoying, but I think that's the whole point of his character. He's just going through some things, and it's his way of kind of just dealing with it, basically just being honest and just letting everything out. So I really enjoyed A Real Pain. I think Jesse Eisenberg did a really good job directing it. He actually did a really good job acting in it as well. There's one scene where they're all at dinner and he's just kind of talking about his cousin played by Kieran Culkin, and I don't know, I just thought it was a really well done scene. I gave it 4.5 stars. I really liked it. On February 28th, to round out the month, I watched A Complete Unknown, another Best Picture nominee. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. I am not a big Bob Dylan fan. I don't really listen to folk music, but I really liked it. I was tapping my foot with the music. I thought Timothy Chalamet did a fantastic job. Monica Barbaro, I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce her name. I thought she did a really good job as Joan Baez. I didn't realize that she was nominated for supporting actress too. So that was good to see that she got some recognition for this role because I thought it was really well done on her part. Elle Fanning was really good. I really enjoyed Edward Norton's role as Pete Seeger. I thought he did a fantastic job. I feel like if he wasn't going up against Kieran Culkin in the supporting actor category, he might have won it. But yeah, I really was surprised at how much I liked The Complete Unknown. Wasn't my favorite of the Best Picture nominees that I did see, but I did give it 4.5 stars. Really enjoyed it. A Complete Unknown ended up being my 50th movie of 2025 so far. I'm slightly ahead of the game from where I was at this point last year. My goal is to watch more than 201 movies to basically beat last year's watches. So I'm ahead of the game there. I did miss out on one of the Best Picture nominees. I didn't get to see I'm Still Here. It just wasn't playing in a theater near me or streaming prior to the Oscars, which was kind of annoying. I feel like they could have capitalized on that a little bit and put it up on Fandango. Complete Unknown I know was $25.99 to rent on Amazon, so I mean they could have put up I'm Still Here as well. So that's everything I watched in the month of February. It was a total of I believe 21 movies and the one miniseries in American Primeval. So let me know what you guys watched in the month of February. If you've seen anything that I had talked about here today, just drop a comment down below. I always do my best to like the comments and respond to everybody. So I really enjoy talking to you guys about these movies. So that is it. I hope you guys liked the video. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share this out with your friends. I am on Letterboxd, Instagram, and Facebook. I will put the link in the description below to all those social media platforms. Thank you again for watching, and I'll catch you next time.